Okay. Check, check, check. Check. Ah, I would like to say that we are ready, but it's hard to tell right about now. But as far as I can tell, I feel like everything's good. Like the volume is good and the mic is good. So we can go ahead and get started. So, yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another iteration of One Piece for the month in November. I had to draw on that real quickly. In the year 2019, we have one more month left in this year, which means only a couple more chapters of One Piece. And since it said, did it say we were going on break? Yeah, it said we were going on break. Hold on, I gotta actually bring up that other page because we're gonna be running through the official translations for the One Piece chapters that we got today. But the most recent one does not get fully translated by Viz until 2 days from now. So I need to bring up the last chapter. That way we can just go through it real quickly. All right, so we got 3 chapters in the month of November for One Piece, from chapters 9, 62 to 64. And all of them were significant because it just reveals more of Oden's backstory, how he became the daimyo of Kuri, how all the people who know him now became his retainers, and which actually leads up to the final chapter we get for this month, which introduces us to Lady Toki and how both Oden met her and how he ran into Whitebeard at the same time. But let's go ahead and run through those chapters real quickly. So we have chapter 962, and we're reading from the official translation of Viz. 962, Daimyo and Vassals. So we have the cover art here with Gang Beijo, My Family, Volume 2. I Found the Navy, Chasing a Drunken Vacuum Kissaholic. Then we have Shanks is 39 currently. The youngest Yonko. This dude is, well, he's young. He's at least like what, I'm 27. So he is, I am having a brain fart. 12 years older than me. Wow, why did that take so long? Sorry. But Shanks is 9 years old on the Oro Jackson, and he's the biological son of Rocks. That sounds like theories to me. There's no way to confirm this. But in chapters 962, sorry, I was getting scratched here. But we're in, my phone almost fell. We're in Ahakumai, and that's why Whitebeard told Oden to hint about his tales with Rocks in the chapter. There's no confirmation of this whatsoever. So that's kind of like up in the air. There's no written facts about this, so we can't really go off of that. Hakumai Wano, and Oden is talking to Yasuie, saying that he wants to leave. And Oden's all, I understand there's a monster living in Kuri, an ogre by the name of Ashura Doji. And Yasuie says that Kuri is the cancer of Wano. Even Lord Sukiyaki can't control it. If a criminal escapes to Kuri, the authorities are powerless to get him back. But if he does not have the strength to survive in Kuri, only death awaits him. It is so lawless it might as well be another country entirely. Sounds fun. Perhaps I'll take a little tour around Wano. And he just reserves himself to just go up to Kuri and just chill there. But his room is trashed because at this point, Oden was disowned by his father. And he went to live with his, uncle, Yasuie. And when he leaves, his entire room is completely trashed. And then Yasuie notices that the money is gone. And his vassals say that, yes, I put it right here in the safe. Now, the thing is, with Oden, he does not do things delicately nor lightly. So, for his entire room to be trashed, yet the safe to be just simply cracked open and just left ajar, draws some suspicion. And then we have Orochi just,
just being all sneaky as usual.
It pains me to say this, my lord, but I did witness the act. I saw Lord Oden slipping the money into his sleeve. And then Yasuye is automatically suspicious of this. You're sure of this, Orochi? And he's all like,
oh no.
Yes, my lord, I apologize. I was too afraid to stop him. And Yasuye and I, when I read this chapter, we both got suspicious of, Orochi. He says that Oden slipped it into his sleeve, but Oden don't slip nothing. If he wants to take money, he's going to take it in the most spectacular fashion. And so, in the most spectacular fashion. So, Yasuye and myself were already suspicious of Orochi when he said this. Then it cuts to Kozuki Oden's party, then left Hakumai. Okay, all of this just sounds okay, Jay Rich. All of this just sounds like theories to me. Nothing. All this is not. It sounds nice. It does, but it just sounds like a lot of theories. So I can't really go off of that. As nice as it sounds, I can't really officially go off that until we get an official translation. And that's all it can be, is just theories until we actually get those chapters. But it cuts to, he has too much respect to even refer to Roger as that guy. Whitebeard was talking about Zebek, Shanks' father. There's no confirmation that Zebek is Shanks' father. Kozuki Oden's party then left Hakumai and headed for Kuri, causing trouble all over Wano as they traveled. And he's wondering why everyone's following him. Denjiro and Kinemon is following him. And he's wondering, like, how long are you going to keep following me? For as long as you'll go. We really love you, man. And he just looks at him with disgust, like he does not like that. So, as they keep traveling, what follows is a series of excerpts from Oden's travel notes. And as he's traveling, he's just writing in his journal. And then we run it into the brothers Izo and Kikunojo, who with Izo, who we know later becomes a commander of Whitebeard's ship. In Ringo, we met two hungry urchin brothers. They tried to make money by dancing, but the townsfolk were cold to them. Apparently, they were sons of a traditional dancing school, but when their father was arrested, the family split apart. The little brats started gobbling up our Oden and crying. In Kibi, we came across a monstrous creature that cut the hair off of both the living and the dead. It turned out to be a little freak who sold brushes made with hair for a living, and that turns out to be the Goblin of Kibi, Kanjuro. He tried to go after my hair, and once I walloped him, he started following us. I give, I thought you were a corpse. He said he was persecuted for this in the past. If you ask me, he deserved it. Good to see you, CJ. In the deep forest of Udon, rumor spoke of an infamous bandit who kidnapped women and beat men half to death. And it turns out to be former Kozuki Oniwa Banshu Raizo. But it turned out to be the genius ninja Raizo who quit the Kozuki clan's Oniwa Banshu after Kunoichi turned him down. And then it cuts to the lawless land of Kuri, where Ashura Doji is residing, with his title being known here as the strongest monster in Kuri. And Kozuki's Oden's in Kuri. He's got the Shogun's bloodline. I want to kill him. Capture him and bring it to me. Yes, sir. If I hate anyone, it's the high and mighty. And he's just drinking a sake dish filled with snake blood. Whether that blood is poisonous or not remains to be seen. And in one panel, they're all just sitting down eating some more Oden, and they're kind of wondering where Oden went. And it turns out that he just went off on his way to Kuri, where he's standing in front of all the lawless people who are standing right in front of him. When I broke through the gate, I was met with the stench of death, blood, and violence. It felt like I'd stepped into another world, and all of its hostility was focused on me. And then the guys are asking him, "Are you Kozuki Oden?" And he says, "I've been distoned. I have no name to give." But he's got them dual swords ready to catch them hands. You're allowed in, but any who try to leave are killed. Those are the rules of this place. And sorry if it's a little bit dark. It's raining outside and it's just mad gloomy. You tell your boss a samurai is here. What a cramped life. This is no place for people to live. Don't leave. That happens to be my least favorite rule. And then he just goes to town on all the bandits there. And we got Kanjuro and everyone else and Kinemon trying to run towards where Oden is. But they come to find him bloodied a little bit with some scars, a couple of arrows sticking into his body. Yet he's sitting on top of a defeated Ashura Doji and pretty much everyone around him. He beat everybody, saying, "Sorry guys, I just finished everything. I've been up all night. The fight took an entire day." That's the infamous Ashura Doji. And he beat Ashura so bad that in this panel, Ashura is saying, "Just kill me already. I can see the future ahead. I got nothing to live for." And then he looks at Kinemon and says, "Hey you, do you still love me? Then lend me your wisdom and strength. I've decided that these worthless hooligans need me as their king." And then it goes on, and the news of what Oden did back in Kuri pretty much spreads throughout all of the flower capital. And it gets to Yasuie, it gets to Onimaru and the guy that's standing with him, who I still can't figure out who that is. Oden rounded up the lawless ruffians of Kuri, and with his considerable strength, he turned that hellish wasteland into a place worthy of being called home. And Yasuie is kind of proud. He's saying only he could do this. In recognition of this remarkable feat, Shogun Kozuki Sukiyaki retracted his disownment of Oden and gave his son the title of Daimyo of Kuri. And pretty much everyone who lived in Kuri is now loyal to Oden, is saying, "Our very own Oden is going to be the Daimyo of Kuri. He did it." And everyone's cheering. Even Ashura and everyone that followed Oden on the way to Kuri, they're all cheering for him as well. And then it gets to the point where Ashura's all, "What's the matter, Ashura? This is the first time I've ever known peace. Thank you, Oden." And then he gets kicked in the face for saying that because Oden says, "Don't be a creep." And then he says, "Look, a daimyo needs vassals, but I don't want to be assigned some stuffy, stuck-up nobles. I would rather have you all. You should be my samurai." And it pretty much just turns on the waterworks for everyone that followed him. Kiku Nojo, Izo, Denjiro, Raizo, Kanjuro, Kinemon, and Ashura all cry over the fact. Then 6 years after that, a full 33 years before the present day, the remnants of the legendary former Rocks pirates began to gather new comrades, steadily expanding their claims and infamy. And we see a panel here with Big Mom, Whitebeard, and Kaido. He's in the back, he's silhouetted, he's shadowed out, but we all recognize those horns anywhere. That big hair and those horns. Then it cuts to Kuri Beach on Wano, and there's Kawamatsu poking at the bodies of who we would find out is Nekomamushi and Inuarashi. So that is it for chapter 962. Let's move on to 963 and talk about all that. I thought that 962 was a good chapter to see how he pretty much came about becoming, we heard the story leading up to this point of how he turned the lawless land of Kuri into a prosperous region. And to see how he single-handedly took on every single person that lived in Kuri. Now, mind you, Kuri is an entire region by itself. Now, Wano itself as a country is massive, and each region is equally massive. Though small in size and relative to looking at it at a map, they're all huge. And for Oden to go into Kuri and completely wipe the floor with every single person there, including Ashura Doji, who is known as a monster, just shows you, and the fact he said it took him an entire day for him to do that. So mind you, the people that live in Kuri are you have to be strong in order to survive in Kuri. And there was a lot of people there. You either survive or you're killed, with Ashura Doji being at the top. And there was numerous people there. So mind you, it is an entire region filled with people who pretty much is survival of the fittest. And Oden pretty much wiped the floor with every single one of them. It took him a day. He got a couple of arrows in his back for it. And he got bloodied and hit on one side. But he still managed to beat him, which shows you that he is crazy strong. Cannot wait for the chapter where we see him confront Kaido and give him his one and only scar. You guys know what's going to happen. We're going to see it. We're going to find out how Kaido, the man who is so far has been seen as invincible, save for the scar on his side. I cannot wait to see the chapter where we get to find out what battle takes place for Kaido to actually get hurt. So I can't wait to see that. So moving on to chapter 963, we have Becoming Samurai. And of course, we have the Oh My Family, volume 13, where the germ pirates attack the country of Dressrosa while the king isn't there. So moving on, it recounts like the history of Zou. Long, long ago, hundreds of years in the past, we Minks and the samurai of the Kozuki clan of Wano made an unbreakable pact. We swore to be brothers. I find that me reading this Viz translation has me flubbing the lines far less than it does for the actual translations whenever I read through them. If anything should happen to either side, the other will rush to their aid to fight. Though we do not know when this might happen, we shall be ready. And of course, we have the Minks, and we have a young Nekomamushi and Ninonorashi just standing in front of the road poneglyph that is sitting underneath the crest of the Kozuki family. Wano, a foreign country, I'd love to see that. And this is when Nekomamushi and Inuarashi are both pup and kitten at the time. And they sail there, but when they crash there, they pretty much get apprehended by the people thinking that they're monsters. And Kawamatsu, who was poking them at the time, gets captured as well because they think he's just a demon. So, moving on from there, they're all wondering why this isn't how you treat brothers. Now, mind you, Nekomamushi and Inuarashi are heading to Wano with the mindset that everyone on Wano is pretty much like the Kozuki family. But at this point, the Kozuki family treat their relationship with the Minks as a secret relationship. No one knows that the Minks exist on Wano, save for the people who are close to the Kozuki family or the people who found out their secrets. So they're kind of a bit naive and traveling to Wano thinking that they're going to be treated with the same hospitality that the Kozuki family would normally show them. So they're really shocked here in this panel that the fact that the people of Wano would string them up and kind of lynch them in a way. And then it cuts to Oden just swimming on the shore, just swimming out to sea outside the beach, just casually catching the giant carp that we've seen in the anime and the manga, just casually catching it with his bare hands, just killing fish, just killing it with his bare hands. Who else do we know was swimming through the ocean and killed giant monsters with the bare hands? Rayleigh. I'm saying Rayleigh. But he runs up and he makes his way to shore, and he beats up on all the people that pretty much beats up on all the civilians that pretty much had them strung up, and then he just starts to walk away without even cutting any of them down. But they drop down and they make their way back to Kuri Castle in Kuri, and we find out that the Mink's name is Dogstorm and Mink is Cat Viper. Of course, we know him as Inuarashi or Nekomamushi. I wonder, would you guys prefer if I just call them by their names in the Japanese name, or would you like their translated names as well? I mean, me personally, I'm kind of used to saying Nekomamushi and Inuarashi now that I know that Inuarashi is not Inuarasha. I don't know why I thought it was like that. But they're eating food with Kawamatsu in the background, and Kinemon is kind of surprised that he's not used to seeing animals talking. Thank you for saving us in our time of need. It's so hot we were gonna die from hunger and being shipwrecked, and then we were gonna die from violence. Hey, this is too hot. I can't eat it. So Neko is pretty much complaining about the food. He's constantly eating food. Ooh, the food's good. Oh, it's hot. Ooh, it's good. Oh, it's hot. That's pretty much how he is. But Kinemon can't get over the fact that they're talking. And Kozuki and Oden just pretty much says that they're Minks. My dad used to talk about them years ago. Yeah, I bet. We have that symbol in our land too. And of course, the same symbol that's over the road poneglyph on Zou is resting inside the Kurdi castle where they're all eating right now. We and Yogara are like brothers. Ooh, we and Yugara are like brothers. You saved our lives. I'm so hungry. And then he complains about the food being hot and just flips it over. Don't do that, Cat Viper, Nekomamushi. Cats have very sensitive tongues. Listen up, Cat. Oden is meant to boil. I think it's good, and Kawamatsu's just eating it off the floor. The boat carrying Mother and me sank, and we washed up on this land, where we sought help. They threw rocks and called us fishmen, but Mother was injured and we couldn't get back home. How can you be mean to such a nice-looking mermaid lady? When Mother was dying, she told me that fishmen are oppressed all over the world, so I could claim that I am a Kappa. Kappa Kawamatsu. I'm Kawamatsu the Kappa, and I've been living on scraps and leftovers. I could just imagine, like, Butters being the voice of Kawamatsu.
Hey, I'm Kawamatsu the Kappa, and I've been living on scraps and leftovers.
First you saved my life, and then you gave me this delicious food to eat. Thank you, sir. I will never forget what you've done for me. And everyone's just basically showing their gratitude at this point. Oops, I failed to express my gratitude, right. I was wasting food. It's mature of you to notice. And then he starts eating the food off of the floor along with Kawamatsu, and yet still yells that it's hot. There must be many more even stranger animals out there in the world. After meeting you, I'm looking forward to going out to sea more than ever before. Be well, you three. And then he just wishes them the best wishes. Then it comes up to the next day. Well, it's not the next day. They immediately jump on his face and they start hugging on him, saying,
Let us stay here. Were you even listening to us? We don't have anywhere else to go.
And then it cuts to another panel where they're all just chilling in one room. Nekomamushi is chilling with Kikunojo. And then Kawamatsu the Kappa is running around with Inuarashi. And then it cuts to a panel saying, you lent Orochi our money again, didn't you? Why would you help him? He might be on his own now, but he was still one of Yasuo's men. I can't just abandon him. So, during this time that he's daimyo of Kuri, he's been giving money to Orochi. What Orochi's been doing with this money remains to be seen. But he pretty much just gave him pretty much all of his money. So it makes me wonder what Orochi has been doing behind the scenes, because he's slinking around there. So we'll pretty much get to that point. So Kinemon, Kanjuro, pretty much every one of his vassals resolved to go and steal from Yasuie, with Raizo leading everyone there. And then it cuts to them being apprehended by Yasuie's own people, wondering, you can have all the money and then they're wondering, why did you try to steal all of this money? Because Oden is hard up for gold. If you're going to kill us, Hedgehog, then get it over with. Oh, Oden, where do you find these people? You can have all the money you tried to steal. And of course, this shocks everyone there. What? Lord Yasuie, these are Hakumai's funds. And there, take this as well. Use it.
More money? What kind of a trap are you setting?
Do you love Oden? Then use these coins to clean yourself up. And it cuts to them going to the flower capital, where they are basically have clothes that would be similar to the clothes they would wear for a very long time. I know Kanjuro's clothes looks more like the clothes he would wear from then on in. Everyone else's clothes would kind of change as the years went on, but Kanjuro would pretty much be the only one who would keep his clothes closest to what he started out with. Practice manners, buy books, learn things. If he has ruffians like you for vassals, Oden will only embarrass himself. And it cuts to a panel where they're just speaking with such polite honorifics. Prithee, I doth wish a most pleasanteth day to thee, Lord Oden. This is actually funnier in the official translation. Prithee, I doth wish a most pleasanteth day to thee, Lord Oden. Doth mother know you weareth her drapes? I do declare this tofu frither to be simply exquisite. What's gotten into you people lately? You're creeping me out. Oden is always making Oden. It's apparently his favorite food. Can't wait to try it myself one day. It is bitter foreshadowing considering that's how he was killed. Eating the food that would do him in. That would be his one food he always ate to his dying breath, and with his dying breath, he literally died in it. What a horrible way to go. And only someone like Orochi or Kaido would pay attention to the fact that he liked it so much that they would use the very thing he loved to eat to kill him. One day he will be Shogun of Wano. Those who serve and support him must be the greatest samurai in the land. Not only must you protect your liege, you will do the same for the capital and eventually all of Wano. You will be our guardian deities. 3 years later, 30 years before the present, Flower Capital. I hear the daimyo of Kuri will bring a procession to the capital. Make sure nothing gets stolen. Lord Oden's vassals are all common thugs after all. And then we cut to see the mountain board just outside the Torii Gate that leads up to the Flower Capital. And I was so confused, like, how is it back when it got cut from mouth to back? And then I've forgotten that this is One Piece. Like, you can drink milk and it will automatically regrow your tooth. People with superhuman abilities that don't encompass, healing quickly are able to heal after eating like a bunch of food. People who eat ginormous amounts of food and pretty much fatten themselves up to inhuman proportions need only jog a short distance away to come back fully skinny again. Physiology in One Piece is weird, okay? It's weird. But then we get a panel where the squad is rolling up. The squad is rolling up with their best stuffs. Everyone is dressed to the nine. Oden's riding on board Mountain Board Jr. I almost didn't recognize him. It's practically a shogun's procession. Oh my, look at those samurai. Were Lord Oden's vassals always so gallant? The heroic sight of these bold warriors, proud and tall, was stunning enough to make the crowd forget to breathe. I really like these translations for Viz. They put so much emphasis and draw more hype. Like, I was hyped when I was reading the official translation before. Hold on. It's starting to look a little bit dark in here. Let me just turn on the light here. Let me see how it looks. This is so much better. Why didn't I turn the lights on before? But reading this entire translation has gotten me just as hyped when I first read this chapter. The heroic sight of these bold warriors, proud and tall, was stunning enough to make the crowd forget to breathe. It was said that the weight of their arrival upon the gathering watchers was so great that it caused the capital itself to sink just a little bit. That's how you hype up people just walking up into the main capital. I've only been made great. I haven't changed a bit. My Oden thanking others? You don't have to be frightened about it. And then we have a panel, with Orochi just chilling in the background. So he has wormed his way into the stewardship of the Kozuki family, because one thing I did not mention when I first officially read through this reaction is the fact that he's wearing clothes with the official crest of the Kozuki family. So he is serving to some degree in the family. Oden visited the capital hearing his father was ill, Dio Brando vibes, but seeing Sukiyaki invigorated was a relief. However, this would be the last day they ever exchanged words. So, here's something, and I'm going to reiterate it. Jinbei is Bei. What's going on? But here's something I'm going to reiterate from my reaction that I did back when I read through this chapter. I'm getting some major Dio Brando vibes of how Orochi wormed his way back. He wormed his way over to the Kozuki family, which is the most prominent family, of Wano. I mean, it is the Shogun's family. He's went from Yasuye's stewardship all the way over to Sukiyaki's ownership. And it's funny how as soon as Orochi gets there and Oden makes his way back to his father has suddenly come down with some sort of illness at the same time that Orochi is there. And this would be the first time he sees his son after disowning him would actually be the last time they ever speak to one another. Because Orochi is just chilling over here and he's got like a sweat drop on his forehead, keeping his hand claps closed as always, like, scheming hands. Those are scheming hands. There is no reason that a person doesn't do this. I think the only person that do this are benevolent Disney characters. Because anyone who stands like this in front of you with their shoulders hunched up, they're up to no good. These are scheming, nefarious, malevolent hands. This specific position, if it's like this, you have to worry about it. People fine. They all right. But if they're like that, evil, like Mermaid Man would say, evil. That's pretty much how they are. But later that year at the Tachi Port on Kuri, we have the Moby Dick. It almost looks like their entire ship was a bit capsized, making its way to Wano. And we have a young Whitebeard, a young Marco, a young Ipoida, a young Whitey Bay, a young Vista, a young Fossa, a young Jozu. What is the last guy's name? I just wrote this down. I wrote it down in a comment. But he's got a lot of the people that would become his commanders and then actually branch off and create their own pirate crews, but still remain affiliated with him. Captain of the Whitebeard Pirates, Edward Newgate. Now, mind you, this is like 30 years ago. So this is when Whitebeard is like 44, which means he is still right next to his prime, which means that this is Whitebeard still at his most powerful. This isn't when it gets into his old age and then his observation hockey starts to wane just marginally, or he's not as powerful as he used to be before. This is a Whitebeard who's just as powerful in his prime. So, yeah. But he's got his whole crew just chilling there, wondering what happened. Why is there sea and land all the way up here? We went up the falls, right? Seems like people live here. So, and he's kind of bewildered by the fact that he just came from the ocean. Then he goes up another ocean, and on it is like Wano. Like the whole One Piece world is weird. Like you can have like a good portion of ocean around Wano that turns into a waterfall that then disperses back into the main ocean of the whole world. Quite sure Orochi killed Sukiyaki. He pretty much did. And then while Oden was away, started to usurp that position to start to cement himself as a power within the Flower Capital. That's just a theory of mine. Not stating it as fact, just a theory. And then it says that Lord Oden went to the coast. Why did you let him go? Stop him at once! I wonder if Marco already has his devil fruit at this point in the flashback. We have yet to see him use it if he does. But I feel like, you know what I think? I'll actually talk about it when we get to the final chapter. Shindy Freaks. Nice to see you. I hope I said that right. If I didn't say that right, please forgive me. I kind of wanted to say that right. Shindy Freaks. Did I say that right? I don't think I did. I might have butchered that. My apologies. But good to see you, Shin. But Oden makes his way to the coast, and he rushes there, and then his vassals go after him. And then Whitebeard says, and he actually has like a little quick sweat drop on his face, like he got like concerned, like very actively concerned. Wait, stand back, all of you. Something's coming. Something dangerous. And then everyone that's there with him sees Oden, and he says, there, that must be the pirate ship. Well done, you made it past foul weather and raging falls. I've been waiting for you. And he takes out both of his swords, and Whitebeard takes out his Murakumogiri. I found out the name of his Basento, the Murakumogiri, one of the 12 great swords of the world and one of the most powerful swords in the entire world. I mean, it was used by Whitebeard. And the fact that it was able to go up against multiple Devil Fruit users, especially Devil Fruit users who have the power to pretty much melt other weapons, and Whitebeard was able to fight against them no problem without any damage being done to the Basento itself. Yeah, it's a powerful sword. But I say that because they both clash with one another. And in this panel, it looks like a hockey clash. Like potentially a Conqueror's hockey type clash, because Black Lightning emits from where they strike their swords with. Vista's there too. He's the barrel-chested guy standing right next to Whitey Bay. He's the one that has the open shirt with the two swords. But this is Vista before he gets his hat and before he gets his magnificent mustache. But his hair's still long here. But Oden clashes with Whitebeard, and it's powerful. Yeah, it's definitely a hockey clash, because the force of the blow has enough force to knock back some members that are with Whitebeard. And you see the air rush right from where they're standing. Vista has a supreme perfect mustache. You better believe it, Grant. One of the most perfect mustaches in all of One Piece. Then other people who come up next to him is Whitebeard, Mihawk. I'm trying to remember who else has a good mustache. But I think Vista, Mihawk, and Whitebeard have the best mustaches. Yeah. But the force of the blow is powerful enough to cause the air to whip around them and push the environment back. So I have a feeling that this is a Conqueror's hockey clash, because it has been confirmed that Oden does have Conqueror's hockey, but he just hasn't used it yet. Actually, you know what? While we're here, let me just go ahead and confirm this, because I don't want to be talking out the side of my neck here. Rogers is quite good as well. Wow! Oh, that's who I was missing. How could I forget the King of the Pirates mustache? Yes, confirmed. He can use... he does have access to Conqueror's hockey. We just not... How you forget Rogers' mustache? I'm sorry, I had a Chipotle-level brain fart. You know I've been running into them a lot lately. I'm sorry, Grant. You know. But he can use Conqueror's hockey. He just hasn't used it yet, because before his execution, he was noted to be able to use that. But they clash swords, and he says, "My name is Kozuki Oden. I do not know who you are, but I ask you, let me ride on your ship." And Whitebeard's all like, "The heck did you say?" As they're still clashing. And then the next chapter hits December 1st, which means that the official translation will not come out until tomorrow. But I don't have until tomorrow for you guys to wait for me to do my reflections on that. So we're going to cover the other chapter that I probably should have brought up in this window and not on a completely separate one. That was my mistake. And okay. So that's chapter 962. It shows a clash between Whitebeard and Oden where they first meet for the first time. And the last chapter we get is Oden's adventure. Garp has a mustache, right? I'm just specifically talking about mustaches that don't connect into beards. Specifically. So it would only count Vista, Mihawks, Roger, and Whitebeards. Because Garp's just turns into like a big old mustache. It turns into a circle beard. And then it's like a lot of gruff around here. But his is still good, though. A mustache is still a mustache, even if it's connected to a beard. So we got another Oh My Families, Volume 14. We're going to infect all of you with the Kiss Kiss germ. So it makes me wonder if there's actually a devil fruit power at play here with the germ pirates. Maybe. But the tale of Oden continues. I want to adventure out to sea. You can't do that, says the rest of his vassals. Just take me with you. And then Whitebeard's crew is arguing, like, huh? Weren't you just trying to kill the captain? And they're pretty much just all sitting around speaking to one another, having, I'm going to assume, more Oden. You're not the type of man that'd be content with being a follower. I know what happens when a bunch of folks like that band together. The last crew I was a part of had that frustrating issue. Just set sail on your own. And he's referencing the Rock's Pirates, which it pretty much means that everyone who was a part of the Rock's Pirates did not want to be an underling. They only joined forces to further their own ends. But at the end of the day, they could not stand being a follower and rather have, been the leader themselves, or they just don't like the fact that they'd have to be under someone. But Oden says he's attempted to go out to sea dozens of times, but it's no use. He has absolutely no talent when it comes to sailing or navigation. He is bad at setting sail, given the amount of times that he's failed leading up to his official reveal. Yeah, he's pretty bad at it. Whitebeard, leaving Wano happens to be a crime that carries a severe punishment, and he just casually bumps fists with Whitebeard, which gives you an enormous amount of street cred. I bumped fists with Whitebeard. And if you see this happen with other people, it's all like, don't mess with him. Him and Whitebeard are tight. Don't mess with him. I don't know why it hasn't occurred to me before, but Kaido has probably the biggest mustache in the series. Yo, you're right. His one side of his Fu Manchu mustache is pretty much bigger than everybody except for Big Mom and actual giants. And given the fact that Whitebeard is like 21 feet tall, and Kaido is, I want to say, bigger than Whitebeard. Wow. And it's even bigger when he goes into his dragon form. Wow. Kaido has the biggest and largest mustache in all of One Piece. Tidbit for an official guidebook that if they make one. Keep note of that. So we're on the same page then. It's good to know. That's good to know. I have no intention of taking him with me anyway. You do not need to tell him that. I want to go on this adventure, whether it is legal or not. I want to see the world. And Oden's adamant about going out to sea. And then we have Marco talking to Neko and Inu, saying, because at this point, the Minks think that there's not that much of a big world out there. And Neko and Inu think that there's only like 5 islands in the world, where Marco just tells him that even if you guess like 10 or 20,000, you still be way off. The world of One Piece is absolutely massive. And don't even get me started on space, because Enel's up there somewhere messing with the moon people. And I'm just wondering, how the heck you get to space? Like, are you operating on Jimmy Neutron rules? You don't need to have an enclosed ship in order for you to sail out into space? Every time someone explains how it happens, you got Carl Weezer on the side singing, and we don't ever find out how they're able to breathe in space with no helmets. How's Enel up in space right now? But that's a whole nother story. But then Marco just tells him that the world is insanely vast. 2 weeks later, in the dead of night, the Whitebeard pirates pretty much try and set sail and try and get away from Oden, because otherwise Oden's not going to let him catch a break, and he's going to keep bugging him until they let him on the ship. But Whitebeard says, I feel bad for Oden. Our only option is to sneak off in the dead of night. If strength was all that mattered, I'd have been happy to let him join our forces, but if I did accept his request, the rulers of the country would probably consider it a royal kidnapping. Dealing with the consequences of that scenario would just be a pain. The treasure they gave us has been stowed away, right? They even gave us food and repair supplies. And then a chain with a weight on the end loops around one of the masts on the ship, and it turns out that it's Oden who's letting himself being pulled by the Moby Dick into the ocean. Then we have Izo, who's been keeping a close eye on him, running behind him, and manages to launch himself onto Oden's back as they both get dragged through the ocean, with Oden just like like a kid in a candy store, just holding on to a chain with one hand, and he's fist pumping like, "Leaving this country is my dream. Please let me join you. Please let me see the world." And everyone's wondering, like, "Oden, what are you doing, bruh? You must return with me, or you're the heir to the shogunate." And then Marco starts to make his way over to try and undo the chains, but Whitebeard says, "Wait, Marco, pull up the guy that's holding him back, and only that guy." So Whitebeard already sees potential in Izo, possibly in this panel, and they go off a waterfall and they completely sail off of the country of Wano and make their way into the open sea. Then everyone who's still in Wano is surprised that he's gone. Sorry. I itch. And then Whitebeard's ship is also gone. And then Kikunojo is sad that he can't find his brother. And Inu and Neko are gone as well. Denjuro's all like, "We should not assume the worst." Here's a I'm gonna take a quick break here. Here's a little theory that's been going around that Denjiro could possibly be Kiyoshiro, because they have similar face structures. And I'm kind of wondering, where did the whole hairstyle thing come from? Who knows? But that's just a theory that's going around, that Denjiro is actually Kiyoshiro and he's actually been working under Orochi. It might explain why Kiyoshiro has been doing things kind of on the sly a little bit. But once again, this is a really big out there theory right now. It's not my theory. It's just one that I've heard. So that's just something to keep in mind for a just in case moment. And then everyone is getting anxious, saying, "Search for them, search the entire country." Then it has Oden hanging on to the chain for dear life as he's being dragged through the ocean, as he's being dragged past massive crags of rocks. "Pull Lord Oden up, Whitebeard. He's going to die at this rate. The future of Wano rests on his shoulders." And then he looks at Izo and says, "Boy, you saw how many times I turned him down, right? Yet he's still determined to join us and go out to sea. Now we're going to handle this our way. I can't just welcome such a wild person into my crew. He could end up endangering my family. He'll have to convince me if he wants to change his fate. He has 3 days." Now, for the average person, you're probably only going to last like a couple minutes. Whitebeard wants this man to last 3 days. So it is clear that Whitebeard sees how strong he is, and only a challenge befitting a ridiculously strong person like Oden would work. Like saying, like, let's leave him out there for a couple of hours. At the very most. For an average person in the world of One Piece, a couple of hours could be the deciding factor. But when someone as powerful and as strong as Whitebeard sees you're strong, he's going to give you like a challenge that is equal to your level of strength. So let's see how long he lasts while he's attached to that chain for 3 days. Now, I don't know if some of y'all don't pay attention to time dilation as I do, but when you are sitting still, doing absolutely nothing, a full minute can seem like it can go on forever. If you are doing absolutely nothing and just chilling, like sitting in your chair, for example, and you're doing nothing, time moves slowly. So, for you to be stuck to a chain and Whitebeard says, "Stay out there for 3 days, then we'll let you up," something's going to give for some people. So you got to have the resolve, you got to have the mental fortitude, you got to have the strength in order to take on a challenge like this. Hear that, Oden? 3 days. If you can keep hold of that chain for the next 3 days, I'll let you join us. Really? Yeah, I'm serious. And when Whitebeard says he's being serious, he's being serious. I don't think I've ever known Whitebeard to lie about what he says. I mean, he's got the power to back himself up. If he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. Like, we've seen it. He pretty much raided Marineford and almost destroyed it and pretty much only bodied Aokiji at the time and Akainu. He didn't really do much to Kizaru. Kizaru was just trolling him the whole time. But I've never known, back to the task at hand here, I've never known Whitebeard to lie about what he says. I don't think he would say, like, yes, I'm serious about you joining my crew, and then you get done, and then he says, nah, sight, I'm done. Nah, you can't do it. But it has panels here where he's enduring massive storms. He's being tossed and turned through the massive turbulence and the crashing, raging waves. I couldn't figure out the word to give that panel at the time, but turbulence and waves and hurricanes and typhoons is pretty much the closest thing I can get to. He's being eaten by giant carps, but I'm pretty sure he punched his way out. He's falling asleep while still holding on to the chain. He's sailing through frozen waters, and he's being beaten so badly that his entire body is starting to swell up from the abuse that he's suffering. And everyone's wondering if he's still there. And then Marco's all like, don't give up, Oden. You only got 1 hour left, yay. He doesn't say yoy on this one. Hey, isn't it a bit too soon to start rooting for him like he's one of us? But, and then Marco says, well, after coming this far, sorry, my eye was itching. Don't you think he's pretty much one of us already? And everyone is all like, And then they start cheering for him. And Whitebeard is just quiet about all of this, and he doesn't say anything. But Izo's saying, I will never forgive you for making my master go through all of this, Whitebeard. I notice I tend to do this a lot. I tend to do that. A lot of hand gestures with this one hand. I feel like there's this over dramatic hand gestures for no apparent reason for the simplest of things. Almost there. Keep it up. On a certain island, haha, the lady is revealed. Why are you running away from us, woman? Yeah. Come on, we're not going to hurt you. We promise we'll take you to Wano. You're lying. You're just a bunch of human traffickers. Stay back. If you hurt me, my market value will go down, right? I can't believe I was deceived by you villains. How naive of me. And this person turns out to be Amatsuki Toki, who would later become known as Kozuki Toki, wife of Oden. And as we know, she is the user of the time fruit, which she has used to jump forward through time. How far back, we find out later in this chapter. And of course, she's standing against the human traffickers. But then a massive being comes out of the water, and it turns out to be Oden, because his body has been massively swollen by the beating he took holding onto that chain. And it causes the human traffickers there to run away. And of course, Toki is surprised by this, thinking it's a monster. All the human traffickers thinks that it's an umibozu. If anyone has played the game Neo, you know what the umibozu is. It's like a sea creature. It's like a sea creature made up of the spirits of those who have died at sea. And he says he's saying, yo, Crown Clown, what's going on? What do I think of Lady Toki showing up? I think it's about time. I was actually hoping that we would see Lady Toki before this year's end, and I'm glad we got to see her in this chapter. And we got a little bit of backwards history of her. Sorry, I'm stretching. I haven't gone to sleep since I come back from work. I've just been up. I've been trying to play Borderlands and get some of that new stuff on Mayhem 4 and trying the raid. The raid is kicking my butt. Dude, it's tough. The raid is tough. I can't do it. At least not now. But I'm glad that we got to see Lady Toki, and hopefully we get to see more stories on her later. But let's continue with the chapter, and then I'll start talking about all the things that encompass her and what would and all the things that she knows that would eventually lead to stuff that happens to be in the One Piece world right now. So she's saying, "Did you come to help me? I wonder if Momo will be born on Roger's ship. It's only 2 years from his birth." You know, that's a good point. And then the Whitebeard Pies are saying, Oden's gone! Man, he only had 10 minutes left. He must have reached his limit. If he had just shortened it by an hour, he would have passed the test. He was doing so well, Lord Oden! So pretty much everyone there on the ship, including Izor, is crying for Oden, wondering, like, what happened? And then the following day, he's back to his normal size, though he's kind of bruised and battered a little bit. Abuse as well as saltwater retention. Oh yeah, I forgot saltwater on the skin and actually swallowing all that and that getting into your system. It can wreck your organs. Kind of messed up. But he's recovered. His body's back to its, I want to say, normal size. He's still massive. And then he says, "Woman, you took care of me when I was unconscious. Thank you." No, I should be the one thanking you. You saved me yesterday. More importantly, did you just say that you're from Wano? He says, yeah. He says, at least I finally made it out of Wano earlier in the panel above it. And it says, yeah, I have to admit, it is disappointing that the first person I meet after leaving is not exactly exotically dressed. The truth is, I have always dreamed of going to Wano. Please, can you guide me there? So, Psycho Ghost Rider, what's going on, man? We're talking about the final chapter of One Piece in the month of November. And one thing that one of my, a person commented on my reaction to this chapter is, she is definitely on a mission of some kind to get to Wano. For what reason remains to be seen, as she hasn't revealed yet. But she has a purpose for going to Wano. She's not just passing through there just to visit. There's a reason why she's desperately trying to get to Wano. And we don't know what that is quite yet. But Oden looks disgusted at that news. And then the human traffickers come back. And we have Octopoda Pirates Captain Karma, who would later join with Whitebeard after being beaten by him. Actually, you know what? Let me confirm this. Because I said this in my reaction, but I want to confirm that Captain Karma does, in fact, join with Whitebeard himself. Yes. Okay, I just wanted to confirm because I recognize him from being in the Marineford War, but I just wanted to confirm that it was actually him. But he is. He's an octopus fishman. And he gets beaten by Whitebeard, who surprises him, who shows up to, save Oden and Toki. And judging from the size of Oden and Toki, Toki is small. Like, she only comes up, like, Oden's right here. Toki comes to about right here. Like, the top of his head is right here, and she's down here, like, near his, I want to say, abs or underside of his pecs. So she's very short compared to him. But Whitebeard surprises them, and all the human traffickers run away because Whitebeard's there. I mean, it's Whitebeard. Like, you would have to be either Luffy or anyone who doesn't like Whitebeard to not be afraid of him. And Oden's wondering, why is he there? I mean, he let go of the chain. Whitebeard knows that he let go of the chain for the sake of someone else. So Whitebeard saw that Oden was willing to give up his dream of sailing on his ship just for the life of one person who was in need, specifically a woman. But he saw that, hey, this dude's got a heart, so maybe he's not all bad. He was willing to give up his dream of sailing with me to save a person, so he might be good Whitebeard material after all. So he says, we're going to reward you with the adventure of a lifetime, brother. Now, this is a very pivotal sentence right here, because in the history of knowing Whitebeard, he has called anyone who has joined his crew his daughters or sons, his family, literally his children. But here, he calls Oden brother. So that begs the question, does Whitebeard see Oden as his equal to call him a brother and not a son? Because pretty much everyone is considered that on his ship right now. But he calls Oden brother. So I thought for that moment it was just very, very important right there, because we have never seen Oden call anyone of that nature before. So it seems that he holds Oden in such a high regard to call him such a close family honorific. And then everyone on the Whitebeard ship is cheering for him, saying like, Pop sure gave you a hard time. He's all like, hey, stop that. Then Nekomamushi and Inuarashi stowed away on the ship. Then Izo's looking like, what are you going to do now? Throw me overboard? And then Whitebeard's all like, well, if I feel like it. Then Lady Toki's there. My name is Toki. I want to go to Wano. And Whitebeard gives her the same look that Oden gave her. Like, I don't wanna. Then please just let me stay. I'll do whatever you want. As you wish. And then it comes up to it starts showing Odin's adventure with the Whitebeard pirates. And one of them says, enemy ship. Odin just goes ahead and cuts it off, cuts the ship in half without even bothering to trying to loot it first. And then it has him going to different places. Until then, I had never really experienced what this world has to offer. And he goes to a place that looks, and it has a yachty on the door of this place. So I don't know what this kingdom is. Either I do know or I just can't remember it. You know, I'm good with seeing it, but I'm not sure. I'm not. You guys know me. I'm bad with names, but I'm good with faces. That's why I didn't recognize Izo the first time I saw him. But he's traveling to all these different places. He's going to frozen islands where he's getting frozen solid in blocks of ice. Based on your personality, what One Piece character do you see yourself as? Let me continue reading through that panel, and then I'll answer that question. We got Oden being frozen on ice islands, and then it got him. It has him being set aflame with going to desert islands. That he's running into different plants. He's running into giant koala bears that he tries to climb up on for some reason. It looks like Toki. Oh, and Whitey Bay's there too, and it looks like they got hearts over them saying, "Ah, cute koala." Then it looks like they're visiting islands that have giants on them, which makes me wonder if they've gone to Elbaf. Then it has him dodging out of the way of Whitebeard fighting, telling everyone to stay back because, as you know, the Goda no Mi is indiscriminate to who hits it, so he has to be a distance away from his own family in order to use his devil fruit power efficiently, because he can't select what to hit with this power. He can only select the direction, but he can focus the direction a little bit, but not to the point where he can select who to hit. But he says the ideologies, the power, the people, the plants and the animals, I have never encountered such coldness or such warmth. The ideologies, everything was so different. Day by day, I opened my eyes more and more. Everything had surpassed my wildest fantasies. I realized that I was just a tiny speck in this world. And then here's the big one right here. Toki says that her age, she's 26, but she was born about 800 years ago. That's how far back the Void Century is. Now, me being a little bit of the ignorant person that I was, I originally thought all this time that the Void Century was only 400 years back. But I was corrected by one of my commenters. Thank you for correcting me. That the Void Century actually goes back 800 years. It's only the Nolan story that goes back 400 years. So she is all the way back from the Void Century itself. And given the fact that her devil fruit power allows her to jump forward through time, she pretty much has the most extensive knowledge of the world of anyone in the entirety of One Piece. More than the O'Hara residents, more than Nico Robin's family, more than any smart person in the world. Even the world government, who obviously know the history. Well, I wouldn't say the world government, more like the Five Elders and Im Sama himself. They all know the history of the world, but she is the one who I feel has experienced every single part of it. So, with Lady Toki, I feel like not only does she have knowledge of the Void Century itself, but she's also the one who taught Oden how to create poneglyphs. You know, the super indestructible blocks that no one knows how to translate except for a few people, and the only people who know how to actually create poneglyphs are the Kozuki family. And since Oden never taught Momonosuke how to actually create poneglyphs, pretty much no one else knows how to do this. Not to mention, the creation of the poneglyphs themselves originated from the Kozuki family, which further enforces my theory that Lady Toki taught him how to create them and pretty much put them all over the world, including the road poneglyphs that eventually, when combined all together, pinpoint the island that has the One Piece on it. So it just makes me want... Yo... It just dawned on me. When Oden sails with Roger, he's going to create the road poneglyphs that will lead to Raftel. Wow. Either he's going to create it or Toki's going to create it. But I feel like Oden's going to be the one that says, okay, I've sailed with Roger. And how about I just create the poneglyphs that could eventually lead to his treasure? Because maybe that is one of Gold Roger's own wishes during his final moments. And for Oden to create poneglyphs that could lead to it, but only people who are diligent enough to find all of the road poneglyphs, which are 4, then they'll be able to find the massive treasure and the massive One Piece that Roger left behind. So that's just something to dwell on. But she says she's from 800 years ago, so it just reinforces my theory that she's from the Void Century, or the area known as the Void Century, the period in time known as the Void Century. So she knows more about the entire world than anyone. And who knows what secrets she may have told Oden? Who knows what he may have written down in his journal? That's another theory. What if Oden's journal about his travels with both the Whitebeards and the Roger Pirates and his time with Lady Toki and all the secrets that she may share with him, what if it's all in his journal? If it hasn't been burnt up during the fire that pretty much consumed Kurdy Castle. Oden Castle, actually. So it makes me wonder, he's writing all these memoirs. Where is his journal at? Because I feel, just like in Attack on Titan, as soon as Eren discovered his father's journal, he learns more about the world than he ever thought before. If we find Oden's journal, I feel like we will find out so much about the One Piece world. Potentially, maybe there was a way he wrote down how to create poneglyphs. Maybe he may not have physically taught it to Momonosuke. Maybe he actually wrote down how to actually create poneglyphs himself in his journal, just in case. Maybe. But she says she's from 800 years ago, using her fruit ability to travel forward in time up until this point. On a sea like this, anything can happen. Then we cut to a very, very young Bucky and Shanks reading the newspaper. Buggy's complaining that we're going all out, but the newspaper keeps focusing on Whitebeard. It seems like their latest recruit is a crazy samurai from Wano. And then it cuts to a younger Gold Roger, before his mustache got even more gigantic. And if you take his mustache away, he looks just like Ace. Like, I'm kind of peeling it away, but his facial structure is exactly like Ace's. But he says, so, a samurai escaped from that isolated country. I want to meet him. The great pirate Gold Roger. Now here, it doesn't say the Pirate King. It just says the great pirate. So I feel like Gold Roger has not reached the level, has not become the Pirate King at this point. Either that, or they just gave him the title of Great Pirate, or he's already the Pirate King, and they just give him the title of Great Pirate, or he's just known as the Great Pirate, Gold Roger, but he hasn't gained the title of Pirate King quite yet. Right, you know what? He hasn't, because this is Roger before he fully explores the Grand Line, because Oden joins him on his adventures out. And before he finally turns himself over to the Marines, it is after he fully discovers all that there is to discover out on the Grand Line and sail the entire sea and see everything the world has to offer. That's when he becomes known as Pirate King. So here he's just known as the Great Pirate Gold Roger. He hasn't become the Pirate King Gold Roger quite yet. And I feel like when Oden joins his ship, that's when he's going to start on that path to becoming the Pirate King. And then we'll see even more of the world. And who knows, we may even see some familiar faces along the way when Oden joins up with Roger, which is going to be soon, because Roger wants to meet him. After seeing him in the paper, he says, I want to meet this samurai from this isolated country. I feel he'll make a fine addition to my crew. So that's pretty much how I feel about this. The legend continues to unfold, and we are going on break next week, which means that something major is about to happen in the next chapter. I was talking to one of my commenters a little bit, and we both remarked on the fact that Oda is doing a fantastic job when it comes to world building and storytelling. I have to tell you guys, I have never been invested in a story as expansive as One Piece like this before. Like I am literally beside myself with anticipation on where this chapter is going to take us. Like, firstly, where's it going to go? Is Whitebeard going to clash with Roger, and then Roger's going to offer Oden to join him in his crew? Like, how is it all going to go down? How is it that Whitebeard and Roger are going to, how is it that Oden's going to jump ship from Whitebeard to Roger? There's going to be some moment here where not everyone's going to be cool with it. And we could see a clash between the Whitebeard pirates and the Roger pirates. And I actually can't wait for that. That might actually be kind of awesome. But I have to say that Oda is a master when it comes to storytelling and world building. I've never been invested in something like this before. I know I'm repeating myself, but I just want to reiterate. This story of One Piece, I never knew that it could be this deep. Like, so many details from previous chapters that I read about, and seen in the anime, and, growing up with the show, even though it was the 4Kids version. Please forgive me. But growing up with the show, being a massive fan from it from the very first episode that I saw. Have I seen theory about Davy Jones' fight between Roger and Whitebeard over Oden? I have not seen that theory, but I may have to look that up now. And my throat's getting parched a little bit. I may need to get myself something to eat and something to drink as well. Wow, I've been carrying on since 12. How long have I been going? A full hour already. Wow. Sorry, people. Sorry if I've been keeping you guys too long. I really need to be keeping more tabs on the time because I have something that I want to play today. I went Black Friday shopping, and I managed to get a game for my Switch that I've been meaning to get for quite some time. I know it looks flipped in the video here, but I got me Breath of the Wild. So now I get to finally see how fun it is for my Switch. And I'm glad I got a big old memory card, so I get to enjoy that as well. Plus, I got Watch Dogs 2, the Davy back fight. Oh, I forgot about that. Hopefully, we get to see that leading up to that. Hopefully, we get to see that. And maybe that's the reason why Oden transfers from the Whitebeard Pirates to the Roger Pirates. Good theory. Something to pretty much look forward to. But I got my hands on Watch Dogs. I got my hands on Star Wars Jedi Academy 2, Jedi Outcast. So I got a couple of games for my Switch. I got Watch Dogs 2 that I can play through. There's still some games that are still on sale, like the Black Friday sale for the PlayStation Store. Like, I got my PlayStation on right now. It ends on the 2nd, so maybe there's another game that I could look into and maybe get and maybe play. I might play this today and, might do a stream on it where I just chill and play, a Breath of the Wild for the first time, because this is a game that is a highly suggested game to have for a Switch, but I never got around to actually getting it, and I'm actually glad I got it at the price that it dropped down to, because Nintendo, they don't like to drop the prices on their games for nobody. So, yeah, that's just a little tidbit there. But back to One Piece. I'm loving where the story is going. I'm loving how we're seeing how integrated Oden is with so many pivotal people in One Piece. Like, he's connected to Whitebeard, and then he's going to be connected to Roger, and then his relationship with Lady Toki could link him back to, like the Void Century, and him knowing how to make poneglyphs, which I'm pretty sure she's going to teach him because no one else knows how. And the fact that so many of the Whitebeard pirates are affiliated with Oden and they know him, yet we haven't heard about any of it until this point. I wonder how they react when they find out he's killed, given the fact that they have so much respect for him, and given the fact that Whitebeard has so much respect for him, even calling him brother, not son, not subordinate, brother. So that's something very, very important to note on that. So I know we got to go on break next week, but hey, I get to rest on that day. But overall, I can't wait to see where the next chapter is going to take us. Is it going to take us back to Wano, where we see what's going down as Oden's away from Wano right now? Or are we going to continue with the Whitebeard Pirates adventure with Oden and Lady Toki, and then see them eventually meet up with the Roger Pirates? And then whether there's an altercation, whether there's a conversation, whether there's something between those two pirate crews, hopefully we'll get to see that in the next chapter itself. Seeing as how Oda has been managing to cram a lot of information in chapters so that the pace for these chapters is actually going quite nicely. I know a lot of people complained about Dressrosa. I know a lot of people complained about Whole Cake Island and its pacing, but I feel like the pacing for Wano is going at a steady yet very efficient pace. It doesn't feel like, oh my God, when are we going to get to the next chapter? I don't want to, let's just breeze through this chapter so we can get to the next one. No, myself, I'm not saying that any of you guys have felt this way, but me personally, I haven't felt like I've been burnt out on One Piece. I don't feel like it's dragging along. I feel like it's going at a nice, comfortable pace where everyone can take everything in. And I feel overall like Wano is going at a very comfortable pace. It doesn't feel like it's being rushed, nor does it feel like it's being too slow. I feel like it's at a comfortable place where people can say, comfortable with this. I can read this. I'm waiting for the next one. And the fact that there are so many hype chapters that have been released ever since the Wano arc started, like the reveal of the Yonko's bounties, the legend of the Rocks Pirates, so many different things have just been transpired here, like who is Oden, like who is Lady Toki, like we got a prime Whitebeard, and then we're gonna get a prime Gold Roger. So there's just so much to take in. It is marvelous. I am happy to be a One Piece fan. You know, over the course of me doing all these videos, over the years that I've done these, I truly am thankful that I've found something that I love to do. Like I found something that I'm good at. And I'm thankful to have people like you who, just come around and, enjoy what I do, whether it's my voices that I give my characters, whether it's the reflections that I do, whether it's the reactions that I do. I am truly thankful to be able to do this and to be able to do this for you guys. I have not forsaken my goal of creating a place where anyone can feel welcome, a welcome community, the continuum as it has come to be known. And I'm just grateful to have this. I really am. And I'm not intimidated by this whole COPPA thing that's happening as well, because this channel is still going to be here come January 1st. And then as the year goes on, they ain't going to do nothing to my channel. Why? Because there's just so much gray area in that whole FTC thing. Because let's just get the obvious stuff out of the way. They're trying to reprimand all of us YouTubers all because of what kids are doing. Yet at the end of the day, it is not our responsibility to look after people's kids. And I'm saying all this because they're really trying to hammer down on creativity when it comes to YouTube, and like they're going to be fining people $43,000 for mislabeled videos that are for kids or not for kids. I don't care. You're not getting a single cent from me. Why? Because you're not going to charge me for your inability to take care of your own kids. So that being said, this channel will continue to ascend. It will continue to accelerate. I'll be working on bringing you guys more and more, more professional. I wouldn't say professional content, but just more stuff that you guys want to see. So no matter what happens come January 1st, whether this rule stands or not, I doubt it will. Know that this channel will stay right where it is. And I'll continue to do as I have. And I'm not going to let anybody, not the government, not YouTube, stop me from bringing you guys the content that you have come to enjoy. So I'm not going to go on for any longer. I don't want to, just drone on because I've been known to do that. But I'm just going to leave you guys with this. I thought all the chapters for One Piece were phenomenal. I love them all. I love the entire Wano arc. I do. It's amazing. There's so many things that have been revealed in just this arc alone that just got me mad hype for what the future of One Piece is going to come back to. And the thing is, we are still in the past. We still got the present day where the Fire Festival is right around the corner. All the people who are supposed to meet Kinemon and everyone, they're all disappeared. We have Orochi making his way to see Kaido. We got so much going on right now in the present day that we still have to get to, even after we're finished going through all of these flashbacks for Oden. And you know what? I'm excited for it all. But I'm going to leave it right here, you guys. You guys are amazing. I'm thankful for each and every one of you. I thank God every day that I can do this for you guys. It is nothing but a blessing. And I want to thank you guys for helping get this channel to where it needs to be. I'm still working on making this YouTube thing a full-time thing, regardless of this COPPA thing and FTC thing tries to undermine me and everything. Because I still intend to go after my dream of doing this full-time come in the year 2020. That's my goal. That's my goal, to do this full-time. So whenever I want to dedicate like multiple hours to streams like this, or streams with games or whatever, I'll be able to do it without having any secondary job obligations. That is my goal. So thank you guys for just helping support this channel this entire time. You guys, it means the world to me. I know I'm not some big name YouTuber with a giant following, or I don't know. I know I don't even average like hundreds of views for every single thing that I do. But knowing that there's people out there like you guys that enjoy what I do, I'm eternally grateful to you. It's not anything that I've done. It's because you guys like what I do, and I'm grateful to you. You guys keep me humble. You and my family keep me humble. And I will, and well, I hope and pray that I continue to be so and be the guys you guys have come to be comfortable with all this time. Oh, I'm getting teary-eyed. I'm not, but I'm rambling. Again, let me stop. Let me stop. That being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in the next videos. Have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, we got one more month left, peoples, before this year is over, and before we have the final chapters of One Piece in the month of 2019. Let's finish strong, Oda! But with that being said, later, peoples. Time to go get myself something to eat.